Thank you Mumbai Meat Company for sponsoring this video. Steak with mushroom sauce, a classic dish for all the meat lovers. Perfectly seared ribeye and tenderloin steaks cooked to perfection and then served with the most creamy mushroom sauce. This is a steak lover's dream and this is Steak 101. Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Folks, drop that steak emoji in the comments below if you love a good steak, because today I'm going to show you how to cook a steak perfectly. I'm going to cook a ribeye steak and a tenderloin steak, and we're also going to make a delicious and creamy mushroom sauce to go with that. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. Today we're cooking up the ribeye and the tenderloin buffalo steaks from the Mumbai Meat Company's Steakhouse brand. This is perfect for both novice and more seasoned cooks as well. They have 5 different cuts available, including a tomahawk, strip loin and a rump steak. These are all cleaned, portioned and pretty much ready to go. The package also includes a starter kit which has salt, pepper and some cooking oil. It also comes with a cool recipe book which has many different dishes that you can make using these steaks. And while I always insist on using a thermometer when cooking meat, the package also has a cooking guide for those who don't own one. Links and details of where these steaks are available will be in the video description box. I like to start by patting the steaks dry with a paper towel and placing them on a wire rack. I do that first with the ribeye steaks and then the tenderloin. We want to remove as much moisture as possible so we can get a nice crust when searing the steaks. Once that is done, I season it with salt on both sides. Many people use pepper and garlic powder as well. I just like salt on mine so that I can get the beefy flavors. Now you can let these sit for 15 to 20 minutes before cooking or overnight in the fridge for better results. To cook your steaks, you can use a stainless steel pan, but for me I prefer my cast iron skillet because that always gives me the best crust. I get the pan on the stove and I heat up the oil that came with the starter kit. You can use any oil that has a high smoke point to cook your steaks. Normally I like to cook with avocado oil or beef tallow. Once that oil is smoking hot, in go my steaks. Now these steaks are not super thick, so they cook pretty quickly. So after a minute or so I give them a flip. And look at the crust on those steaks. I check the temperature with the thermometer, and once they are done to my liking, which is medium or even a bit medium rare is fine, I remove them from the pan. Now I had one steak left, so I cooked that up, and the reason I didn't put it in the first batch is because I didn't want to crowd the pan. Otherwise the pan temperature would drop and the meat would stew instead of sear. Once this one is done, I remove it as well. Now it's very important to let the steaks rest after cooking them. The reason being, if you cut them too soon, all the juices will run out. The full explanation will be written out on the blog post on headbangerskitchen.com. Now to make our mushroom sauce, in the same pan I will add some sliced white mushrooms. I season with salt and saute them. We want to get some color on these mushrooms as well. Next I add in some butter and keep sauteing. In goes some minced garlic because mushrooms, butter and garlic is a magical combination. Now what is happening is the mushrooms are releasing their water, and once that dries out they start frying again. I add in some freshly chopped rosemary for a nice flavor, a bit of water, and now we've basically created like a mushroom stock almost. I season this with the pepper that came in the steak starter kit and then also some salt. Finally I add in some heavy cream and give it all a good mix. And I finish our sauce with some freshly chopped parsley. And that's it, our mushroom sauce is pretty much ready. Now it's time to cut into the steak, and let me start with the ribeye. Just slice into that and it cuts through like butter. So tender and it's cooked perfectly. And it also smells delicious and very beefy. Next it's the tenderloin, which is the most prized steak of them all. I slice into those and they are cooked to perfection as well. And as I say, just look at that cross section. Now it's time to plate up our steak, so I've got the ribeye as well as the tenderloin, and I finish it by pouring that mushroom sauce all over. And just look at that plate of steak. It's like a meal fit for a king. And as always, I just gotta dig in, and that is definitely a top quality dish. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's officially taste. Alright folks, I've made myself a little steak tasting platter here. I've got the ribeye, I've got the tenderloin, and I've got them both with the mushroom sauce as well. So first I'm going to taste the ribeye as is. I'm using my hands despite holding a fork in this one. Anyway, Everything you want in a ribeye. It is not the most tender cuts. It is tenderer than many of the other cuts, but it has a little bit of chew. It has a lovely beefy flavor, and like it tastes like steak is supposed to taste. In fact, the ribeye is my favorite steak of all time. Now, let's try the tenderloin, which is the Rolls Royce of all steaks. Oh man. When we talk of tenderness, it's called tenderloin. It's right there in the name. It is like butter. It just melts in your mouth, but it has a little less beefiness than the ribeye does. And you can definitely taste the difference. Let me know if you've tried both and if you can actually tell the difference. For me, the ribeye still wins hands down. That little lack of tenderness as compared to the tenderloin is something I'm okay with. Makes you feel like you're eating meat, you know. Now let's try it with the sauce. Wow. This sauce is an umami bomb. Like that little bit of rosemary in the sauce, the mushrooms, that creaminess. Perfect. It pairs beautifully with the steak. And of course, now let's try the tenderloin. And I've also got a piece of mushroom here. That is a match made in heaven. The tenderloin and the sauce are beautiful together. Honestly, the ribeye, I don't really need a sauce when I eat a ribeye. But yeah, I hope you guys are going to try and make this at home. Let me know which is your favorite steak in the comments below. And I'll see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Until then, cheers and keep cooking. And a big thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and here on the YouTube channel memberships. If you'd like to join the Headbangers Kitchen Club, the links are in the video description box just below this video. Anyway, see you soon.